Welcome once again here on Regional Radio Sports. I'm the president and founder of the Regional Radio Sports Network. I am Paul Condry. Glad that you could hop along here today. Media Day for the women's volleyball team here at Indiana University in South Bend, Indiana. Pleased and privileged to sit here next to one of the top athletes here on the IU South Bend campus, Felisha Campanello, product of two high schools. That's why I said two high schools, Elkhart Memorial and Elkhart Central. That in its own right is very unique. Before the two schools combined, you were part of one, now you're part of two. So talk about the high school experience. You're getting through that, and was it a good, fun time for you?
It was definitely different, I would say. My senior year, I was the first graduating class of Elkhart, but we were in sports like combined and everything my senior year too. So it was really exciting. You know, Central was our rival, and everyone was like, boo Central, boo Central. But for a Memorial athlete, it was really fun just to have those girls on my team because I loved each and every one of them playing against each other, and they were all really fun to play against. And I think that we had a really good connection. And Coach Rust, Jackie Rust, she was my coach, and
the greatest
I have a lot of respect
time.
for her. Yeah.
You know, one thing that people who are not involved in the volleyball world, that like you and I are, is that there are the youth programs that are out there. In the case, whether it be Dunes Volleyball, and obviously Jamie Ashmore, who started the program here, who came out of that Dunes program, and there are programs all around in youth sports. So let's talk about get involved in the youth volleyball, and as the club sports have kind of evolved, it's become an opportunity for you to play with kids from other schools, which is, you know, in some situations, hey, listen, I'm going to go to college with this student athlete. I played club volleyball with that person. That would be fun to be able to do, and it's I think it's helped IU South Bend with the success of the great club teams that are here. What do you think?
So I was a part of NEVA, so Northern Indiana Volleyball Association, and I loved every single moment of it. I met so many girls, and I think playing club is the number one thing that young athletes should do. And I actually coach for NEVA too. So I coach just like a youth team. I go through like teams that are not in a specific area, like Northwood or
Sure.
Elkhart. So I coach all the girls that are kind of like private school girls, and I love it so much. I tell each and every one of them to keep playing NEVA and keep playing club, whether that's at Dunes or whether that's
Sure.
even on your own time, like if you have a barn or anything. And I think club volleyball around this area is so awesome, and we all play so well, and it just grows our community and the impact of volleyball itself. Like some other places don't even have the opportunity to have club, and I think that it's such a great, you know, option for young girls to grow within the sport. So I love club. I loved it. It was my very favorite thing. I loved club over everything I've played in volleyball.
I want you to take me back, Felisha, to the beginning of making the conscious decision to come to IU South Bend. And you've been in a very unique situation because you played for three coaches.
Yes.
The only three coaches in the history of IU South Bend, Adam Risky, and of course I mentioned that Jamie and now Allison Terzinski. So you're one of the few who could say that I've been a part of all three successful programs. People may or may not understand, but IU South Bend volleyball has an above 500 record, above 500 record in the Chicagoland Collegiate Athletic Conference, and just in about a decade and some change, this has been one of the most prolific volleyball programs at the NEI level. So talk to me about making the decision to come to IU South Bend to begin with, and what was the allure to being a part of the Titan experience?
So my Titan experience began with talking to Jamie, and I was really excited to just join a local community. I love my family so much, and I knew that I wanted to be close to home. My family just coming to my games makes me so happy and warm and fuzzy. And I also wanted people from my club and like my NEVA coaches and my high school coach to still come. And just staying close was really important to me, and also having a program that I knew that I was going to grow in. When I was a freshman, it was really challenging, and every single practice was hard, and that's what I wanted. And I wanted something super challenging. I didn't want to go into a program that was like nice and easy, and I knew I was going to play. Like, I wanted to be challenged, and I still feel like I'm being challenged to this day. So
I want you to take me back last year. 16 wins, 13 losses overall. You played a really, really competitive non-league schedule. But in league play, 14-3, and since I get a chance to do the volleyball games here on the broadcast end of things, this team has not lost a lot of home games in the last couple of years. Last year, you guys were 8-1. The year before, didn't lose a game. So I want to talk about the impact that the girls around you that have been a part of your program and have now since departed. And I guess the one to start with is probably the greatest quarterback in the history of volleyball at IU South Bend, and that's Mackenzie Powell. And her name will probably be forever written in the record book. I don't know if you could ask for any person to show more work ethic and great team leader. So let's talk about Mac leaving and some of the seniors over the years who had a big influence on you.
I would also say Julie Brown had a huge influence in me. The way that I lead now, I try and lead like Julie Brown did. She was very charismatic and very open and very selfless, and I think that that's one thing that I really want to focus on this year as a senior. Mackenzie Powell was very in your face. She was very always the first one to compliment you if you did something good, but also if you needed to work on something, she was holding you accountable, which I really liked from her. I just loved all the seniors, and also Hannah Marchand. She was really out there too, and now that she's my coach, I always make sure to talk to her, and I always get different sides from things from her, which is really supportive. I just had her in my meeting, and all was really good, and we had things that I needed to work on as a person and as a player. So our seniors, we always say to play for the alumni. That's one thing that we always focus on, because our program evolved from alumni, and our program evolved from nothing to something that's really, really good, and we give all credits to everyone that's been in our program and all the coaches that have been in our program. So,
well, one thing about it, you find yourself in a unique situation. Allison Drzynski's now your varsity head coach. She was a terrific assistant coach for Jamie as well as for Coach Risky. So you look at the Allie moving over. I always say that, when you're moving over a chair, that's about 18 inches. Mm-hmm. For a coach to move over for 18 inches to be from an assistant to a head coach, and I think there was even some growing pains for Allie last year. And being everybody's friend, you can't always be everybody's friend when you're the head coach. You can be when you're the assistant coach. Mm-hmm. So the dynamics. So let's talk about Coach Drzynski and her maturation as a coach.
Coach Al, through the years that I've been here, my freshman year she was an assistant coach, and the past 2 years she's been head coach, and I think that she's fulfilled her role this year as a head coach immensely. Watching her grow is crazy to me, and she's done a really, really, really good job at talking to us as individuals and also as players on the whole team as a court. This past weekend, she was really talkative, and I think that she told us good things in a timeout. Her timeouts were perfect. It really spoke to us, and I'm just so excited. Our practices are really good, and yeah, I'm just really thankful that we have a really good head coach. So
let me give you an open-ended question, Felisha, on this one. The Titans will continue the success they've had on the court and off the court this year if this happens. What would that be?
I would say not being hesitant. I feel like this past weekend we could show that we were a little hesitant against really good teams. And I think that if we're just true to ourselves and we worry about ourselves, then we'll be really, really, really good. So.
All right, final question, give you a wrap up here. You find yourself in a leadership role as a senior. There are people that are on this current squad that are, especially their young student athletes, they're going to come back and say, in a couple of years that, hey, listen, Felisha Campanello was one of those people who influenced me a great deal. What is your legacy going to be here at IU South Bend?
I would say my legacy would be always caring about all the girls, no matter what. Like, I feel like as women, we should grow individually, and I think even past volleyball and past school, you have to be a good person, and you have to be good for your future job, or if you're going to be a coach in the future. Like, I think number one thing is creating strong, confident women, and that's one of the big things that I want to do as a leader, is making sure that all of these girls feel valued and feel comfortable, and that they are strong women that can grow. as on the court and off the court. So.
I tell you what, the Titans volleyball program is going in the right direction. If there's any question, I tell you what, you need to hang around with this young lady a lot more. That's going to do it. And once again, thanks to Felisha Campanello, product of Elkhart, Indiana, for joining us once again. For all of us at Indiana University South Bend, as well as the Regional Radio Sports Network, I'm Paul Country. God bless you all.
Thank you.